Hey guys, my name is Eric Valland. I'm an outdoor lifestyle portrait photographer, which means I like to take pictures of people in dynamic locations, outdoors, indoors. And there's a couple pieces of gear that I rely on day in and day out for all of these shoots to tame those locations and walk away with a great photo of my subject. The Westcott Scrim Gym is by far one of the most versatile tools that I have in my kit, so let me tell you a little bit about that. What it is, it's an aircraft aluminum frame that you can build out to a variety of different sizes, and then you put diffusion fabrics or reflector fabrics on it. So when you're out on location, a tool that can multi-purpose like that and work as a reflector or a diffusion panel or to build in shadows is so versatile and so key, because you don't always want to be bringing your whole studio outdoors with you. So having something that can do multiple jobs, break up really small and travel easily is immensely important for me on location. Just the other day I actually used the Scrim Gym on a shoot. Came in super handy. I happened to have it along in my bag. I didn't expect to use it because we were shooting in studio. Well, this studio happened to have a great rooftop right in the middle of Manhattan, and it had the Empire State Building right there in the background. Realized this would be a great shot for a photo, so really quickly I ran back down, got my camera, one lens, and the Scrim Gym, and went back up top. Now here's what we were dealing with. We were shooting in the middle of the day, which didn't matter because initially we were shooting in studio, but when you're out on the roof all of a sudden, there's no shade because we're on the top of New York City on the top of a tall building. So we had a really harsh light, and we could do a couple things. I could have taken the Scrim Gym and gone overhead with the diffusion panel to soften that direct light, but I wanted a really wide photograph so I could showcase my model and the city line and the Empire State Building in the background. So I had to, instead of knocking down the light, find a way to push in some light to fill in the shadows, because that overhead sun was creating some really harsh shadows on our model's face. So I had my assistant way back off the other side of the roof with the Scrim Gym, 6 foot, with a silver reflective surface on it. That gives me super high output, and that let him be way out of the scene so I can get a nice wide composition. So it looked like we had a giant softbox and a big strobe on the roof, which we didn't. All we had was one small bag, the 6-foot Scrim Gym. We built it quickly, we got our shot, we were able to go right back down to the AC as soon as possible and finish out the rest of our shoot. So it really came in super handy and allowed us to grab some great images that we wouldn't have been able to get otherwise. What I found for my work, shooting people outdoors on location, is the 6-foot Scrim Gym. If you get one of those starter kits that has the reflector panel and a 3/4 stop diffusion panel, it's going to let you cover a lot of your bases right off the bat in that kit, and it also comes with a carrying case too to keep it all together. What I found with the 6-foot is that it's just big enough that I can do a full body shot of someone, or I can use it to light, to reflect back in on multiple subjects, maybe 2, 3, a small group. At the same time, it's big enough that I can have it overhead to cast a nice shadow and cut down that harsh, contrasty, direct overhead light you have on some days. So it seems to be a really good size. 6 foot's easy for one assistant to manage, and it's also can be put on light stands if you don't have an assistant there holding it. So it's not too big to wield around, but it's not so small that you can't get away with lighting or shading small groups. So once you get your Scrim Gym frame picked out, you might have gotten some panels and stuff with your kit, but if you look at it, there's one option in particular. It's got silver on one side and white on the other, and that's really important because that's going to be your reflector. And those are used for 2 entirely different kind of positions of your Scrim Gym. If I want to get a nice soft reflected fill light on somebody, I'll use the white side of the panel and I'll bring it in really close, and it's going to be just an imperceptible soft little lifting of the shadows and blow that light back in there. Now if I have a wide composition, I'm using a wider lens and that's going to be in my photo, I need to get that Scrim Gym farther away, but the white side is softer but not as efficient, so that's when you would flip the panel over and use the silver. The silver is great, you want to use it farther away from your subject, but it has a lot of output, so be careful not to blind your model, but if you get that thing aimed in there, you can have the Scrim Gym way out of the way and reflecting a whole bunch of light back in on your photo, which is really helpful for those wider compositions. The black is neat because most of the time we're focused on bringing in a main light or using the reflectors to fill in the light, but what if you have too much light bouncing around and you want to go ahead and get more contrast in an image? The black is used for subtractive lighting. So instead of bringing in light, we're going to take some away, and that's going to give us those enhanced shadows. So the black is really great for subtractive lighting as opposed to the reflectors where we'd be bringing stuff back in. I get some questions like, how often do you really use the Scrim Gym? I mean, how has it changed your photography? For me, shooting outdoors, it's really revolutionized that and kind of just freed me up to know that I can shoot in any kind of condition, any time of the day, and have a tool that's going to allow me to take control of the situation, to walk away with the great photographs that I see and that the clients pay me to get.